I was reflecting on this today. I'm very proud of him, but, all of his accomplishments and his hard moments and, his milestones, they've all been documented so well. I'm more proud of the things behind camera, like the moment that he walks through the door. He's a dad. He leaves everything at the club and, he really just shows up for his family. So they're the moments that I'm really proud of.
I feel like we actually started getting really close between sort of, late 2016, 2017, like 3 or 4 years in, and when we sort of both realised that, we're probably the ones to take the club forward from a leadership point of view. And then obviously the co-captaincy and I don't know, we just become good mates. A lot of moments and a lot of hard yards together. We also had a lot of good times together. I think that gets lost a bit when you talk about Doc. Obviously he had a lot of adversity, but there's also some great moments we share together, not only in the footy field but just in life.
First memory probably wasn't meeting Doc. I was actually asked who I'd like to live with. Michael Jamison was an option. I obviously knew who he was. The Silvanis and Doc, and I knew who the Silvanis were, and my comment was, who the hell is Sam Docherty? Obviously became pretty good mates across the journey and didn't have the pleasure of living with Doc and Nat, which maybe I regret, maybe I don't. We'll never know.
I suppose the one thing that springs to mind when I think about him is just how good a player he was back in 2016-17. He was incredible off a half-back flank. It's very similar to the way in which Kade Simpson played his football when he was at his best as well, and those two worked really hand in glove together and were always the ones streaming off that half-back flank.
I feel like what I've learned from him just watching him, it's like, fronting up after setbacks or adversity, that's one that stood out. But also it's okay to feel the emotion. When you see what he did in end of 21 to start of 2022 and then have probably his best career year, just showed me how people get behind someone when they need it, but also someone when they're determined and they have a plan and they're stubborn to get after it, that you can reach those, I suppose, stretch goals. So that's something I've definitely learned from him along the journey.
I'd like to think he sort of took me under his wing from day dot. Just from there, our relationship probably got stronger and stronger as we played more football together. And for the first 2 years, Doc and I, it was probably more a father-son kind of relationship. Bully at some points as well. And then I started to do the bullying as I got a little bit bigger and stronger. We were brothers for a long time, on and off the field, and the little bits that you do see with social media and clips and that sort of thing goes far deeper than that.
He was always a bit of a nerd, but just a weird sort of a nerd in that, not intelligent being a nerd, but just like more of that sort of footy head aspect. He looked at the game in a different lens than probably most players. Almost seemed like one of the coaches out there.
Embracing him after wins, that's probably the thing I remember the most, just knowing how much work you put in together to get the result and sharing those moments after a game. They're the ones that really you remember. But in terms of the best memory I've ever had with Doc, and it was definitely the Do It For Doc campaign. I know that's that was something tough to see someone go through, but I just loved what came about an idea just to try and support him and raise some money. Seeing all the boys get behind him, seeing people from the club get behind him, people from the Carlton community, the AFL community get behind him. That's like a moment I look back on. It's probably the proudest moment I've had in footy.
Persistence and resilience, 2 words that resonate with everyone when describing Doc. Final game together was pretty special. He called me on the Monday before, mentioned that he'll be retiring the same week that I'll be playing my milestone game. So took a bit of shine off my milestone, but I didn't mind. He, it was a pleasure to share that moment with him, and I got up on the 2 big boys and made sure I got down pretty quick to give him his moment off the field. And again, it's just special to see sort of his development both as a person, as a player, as a father, husband, see his kids run out and see him. They're the wholesome moments in football that you'll never forget.
Certainly one of those players I love playing with. Had a cheeky sort of nature to him prior to games, and almost like he was a very serious character, but at the same time a bit of a fool around the change rooms, which I think was a breath of fresh air at times. So I love playing my footy with Doc, and certainly in the top handful of guys that I really enjoyed sharing the field with. That moment was certainly one of those moments where there's been a few since I've retired that you think I would have loved to been involved in that moment. I was behind the goals when he kicked that goal, and I was in an area where there was quite a few people that shared a lot of hard times with Doc and been there on the journey, and we were hugging like we won the flag that night, the way when he kicked that goal. So yeah, that moment I think was just personified what Sam Docherty means to the footy club, and yeah, something that I'm sure he looks back on with a real fond memory.
I miss him. I miss the old fella. Yeah, I don't know. It felt a bit weird last week, just the emotion of it all, just because we got in at the same time and obviously been through so much together. Like I said, good times and bad times. Just miss going out and playing with him, I think, if that makes sense. Like it's, I just know when I walk out, you look at him, you know what you're going to get. A guy that digs in big moments, he's going to stand up, he's courageous. Yeah, it makes you feel like your footy mortality is real when we see good mates go. So still feel like I've got a lot left in the tank, but yeah, seeing a good mate go like that, it's like, all right, we'll got to make the most of your years to come, and then before I know it, I'll probably be alongside him somewhere. So yeah, but no, he's been a great mate, great player, and a great leader for this club, and yeah, it was just a great way to send him off.
For my time, especially early days, I was up and down. Progression's never linear as a player, and he taught me some valuable lessons on how to become a consistent AFL footballer and be a trusted and reliable teammate, and I wouldn't be the player that I am today without him, and someone that I've learnt off both as a player but as a person and a father to be. Hopefully a few hand-me-downs to come would be nice, and a few lessons on fatherhood ahead, so I'm looking forward to it.